post office really hate to see me coming. I packed and shipped over 300 orders this holiday season because I had a sold out drop of my Raver advent calendars, and I want to take you guys behind the scenes of how I pulled this off as a one-woman show. So let's dive right into step one, which is prep work. Now, these are 12 days of trinkets advent calendars, so every day is going to have a different trinket. But one of the days is going to have a bag of these mini Jolly Buddies. We have mini buddies normally for my rave kits, but of course I like to change them up with the different seasons. And with holiday season, we had Jolly Buddies. So these are like little ducks with Santa hats. So cute. But every single calendar is going to have one of these bags in each day. So we had to make about 300 of these in total. So this is me kind of creating the first assembly line that we had to do for these. So we had these little cups. I'd get my portions added in, pass them down to her. She added in her portions, and then we get them added into the little bags, rinse and repeat. Super satisfying, and we got all those finished the first night so that the next day I had my crew of friends come in who I was paying to help me with this little project. Now, I didn't quite record step 2, which was getting all of these white boxes assembled and their little dividers put in them, but then the next step was to get them all laid out, and then we needed to start adding the products in. This was the start of our assembly line, but we also had to get stuffing put into all of them so that some of the products didn't like rattle around and they had cushion in them. But we started to find our flow a little bit, and once we got our first batch of these calendars all filled, we stacked them over here on the right side, and this is something you'll notice. We kind of just do repetition throughout this whole process. This is a tip to any small business owners. If you're ever having to do bulk orders like this, the more that you can just repeat the same task over and over again, the more efficient and quick that your process will go. So we stacked up all the trays that were full and finished. But don't forget to take a moment to sit back and appreciate all of your hard work and the process fully coming together, because this is when things started to get real. I was like, wow, this vision and concept that I had is happening before my eyes right now. And just goes to show the love and energy that small businesses put in their orders. Like, honestly, Amazon could never. I still can't believe this is what I do for a living. And what makes it even better is that my business is based in the EDM community, and my whole crew that I brought in are also ravers. So we're literally packing orders for ravers by ravers. And I really believe in energy transfers. I think that every order that's sent out, the customer is going to receive the energy that was put into it. So making sure that I had a happy crew is also just as important to me. And yet another tip for small business owners, don't try to do everything by yourself. This would not have been possible if it weren't for these amazing people coming in and helping me. And yes, they were paid, but they were also just so happy to be here and be involved and genuinely enjoyed the process too. So anyways, speaking of process, let's get back to explaining how we're doing everything. Because now at this point, you can see all those boxes behind us, those trays are all completely full, as well as the ones to the right. So we're pretty much on our last batch here now. And you can see from our little assembly line that we had a great workflow going. So this was kind of how the process worked. I separated all the product into different cardboard boxes, and then each different type of product had a different quantity of how many were going to go into the calendar slots. So I wrote that number on the side of the box, and then everyone would grab one product at a time and maybe use these smaller boxes to make it easier to walk around with them. But they'd keep that number in mind, put that number of that product into one of the cubes, and someone would be following behind them with another product and kind of just do the same thing. So we were all working on one product at a time, until basically all of the calendars were full. Now let's take a moment to appreciate this little vibe check mid-packing. One of my favorite songs came on and we were just in the flow packing, and it was so wholesome seeing everyone vibing. Go Markel, hey! Go Nikki, hey, 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 go Via, hey, 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 go Capri, hey, hey, hey. Go Listen, hey, hey, hey. It's just so surreal to me in this moment, honestly. Taking it all in is just as much part of the process, people. And now we're back to business, back to the assembly line, getting tissue paper added into all of them, getting all of our different products added into all of them. At this point, everyone is locked in and in the flow of things, and we're just banging these out. We did this process 3 different days, and we were able to do about 100 calendars each day. But this is not the last step. We still have quite a bit to go, because right now we only have product in these calendars. Now we need to get them finished. Then we had to move on to the next step of assembly, which was going to be the outer boxes. We basically did all those trays, but they slip directly into these boxes. So Markel, Nikki, and Via were getting the boxes cranked out, but leaving one side of them open so I could be over there on the right side, slipping the trays into the boxes and then closing them with a final little sticker to seal them. And then rinse and repeat this process until all of the trays were officially inside their calendar boxes and sealed. Then I get to play a little game of Tetris and get them all stacked up over here. This is literally my kitchen, which was taken over by this project, but this was also one of the most satisfying parts to me. Look at the boxes just disappearing as the stack over there gets even bigger. My neurospicy Virgo brain absolutely loved this part of getting to organize and just stack everything. We literally stacked these orders to the ceiling. And at this point, I'm so happy that we're getting all this done, but it's also setting in that this is not the last step and there is still quite a bit to be done in order to get these fully on their way to customers. But let's just sit in the satisfaction for a moment longer before we have to get to the rest of the real work, because that is 200 total boxes taking over my entire kitchen, going all the way to my ceiling, till I couldn't even reach it anymore and had to get on the stool to add the last ones to the top of the stack. After a quick celebratory high five and saying goodbye to my friend, I then stayed up until 5 a.m. to see through and finish the final part of this process. Now, I might have to take back what I said before. This might be the most satisfying part of things because genuinely, I did all of this on my own. Call me a control freak, but one of the things of being a one-woman show is that I'm used to doing everything all on my own, and there was something about these packages that I just felt like I needed to be the last person to touch them before they went out to customers. And this part definitely took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. Even if it was only a minute per package, I still had 200 packages. That's a minimum of 200 minutes. But I did it. I sat there till 5 a.m. getting every single one of these added into their mailers. So I'd get them added into the poly mailer. I'd add the order invoice in with it, as well as the little pack-in cards I designed for each of these. Then I could get it sealed and get the shipping label added onto it. And then again, just rinse and repeat the same process. And seriously, small business owners, I'm telling you, this is the way to do things, okay? Repetition is key. The more that you can just take the same process, the same thing, do it over and over again, the faster that process will start to go and the more efficient it will be. Just do the same thing over and over again until that task is entirely done. I can't really imagine doing these any other way. If I had done them each one at a time individually from start to finish, it would have been so much more time consuming. Just taking the time and energy to figure out a system will save you so much more time and energy throughout the whole process. But anyway, in case anyone was wondering, this is the boss. That's Leo. He's on shift to make sure that I stay focused and don't get distracted. And I think he really likes this process too and finds it pretty satisfying. He likes to come and hang out with me when I'm doing orders like this. But now at this point, the finish line is in sight and the end is almost near, folks. I mean, you'd think that just putting them in mailers and getting the shipping label put on them would have been enough, right? And now I can just take them to the post office. But no. Like the perfectionist that I am, I had to also ensure that every single one of these mailers was also getting its fragile sticker, its thank you for supporting my small business during this holiday season sticker, and its jolly mail sticker on the back of them. And yes, this part was essential in my eyes, okay? Presentation is everything, folks. And you know what? The payoff is so worth it in the end to be putting in all those hours, hard work, blood, sweat, tears, and energy. This started as a silly little idea, and now it has led to this moment right here. The moment of all small business owners' dreams. The moment where you get to lay out all of your packages and sit in the middle of them and relish in the fruit of your labor. This is my last little moment with all my packages before they go to the post office. It's my chance to say goodbye, and it's my chance to really just bask. Honestly, bask in it. You did that. You made it this far, and you deserve to have a photo like this at the end of all of it. Before, of course, you got to take them all down to the post office. And I'm quite impressed I was able to pull this off. I was able to get 98 total packages and not a single one more into my car. Then I made an appointment with my local post office to let them know I was going to be bringing down this many orders so they could be ready to receive them all and have one of these carts for me to load up when I got there. Of course, this was done in 3 different batches because I could only fit about 100 packages in my car. And I did feel really bad because unfortunately my postmaster Deb was the only one working that day, so she had to individually scan in all of these packages. So I guess that's another tip for small business owners. Make sure you figure out how a manifest works. Apparently you have to print them within 24 hours of printing the shipping labels, and I didn't know that. But you live and you learn, and now I know for next time. But genuinely, thank you guys so much for all of your support and helping me get this far. Literally none of this would have been possible without you guys. This is nuts. This is insane. Literally what dreams are made of. If you would have told me a year ago that this is where I would be now, there's no way I would have believed you. There's absolutely no way I would have believed you. 200 orders. Largest shipment I've ever sent out before. This is crazy. This is literally insane. Wow, I did that. I really did that. I did that. I did that.